Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. I have Miss Anu today. She's an educationist, psychologist, psychotherapist, and an author. Thank you very, very much for being here. Thank you very much for taking your time out. It is a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lakshya, for inviting me here. And it's my pleasure to be here. I think it's a wonderful platform to create social awareness and to connect with people. So great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
my pleasure too. I think I'm really glad again to connect and looking forward to towards conversation and what we end up and what do we find and how we could help others. My first question to you is, please, I did give a brief intro. It would be great if you could take us through your work deeply and all of things you do.
Right. So, Lakshya, I would like to introduce myself, first of all, as a psychologist, as a psychotherapist, and as an author. So, if I talk about my profession, so I would say I am blessed enough to be connected to a wonderful institution, which is Amity University, Noida. I'm working as an assistant professor of psychology there and having great exposure of the seniors, colleagues, students. Then talking about therapies, so I'm certified in various therapies like Neuro-linguistic Programming and clinical hypnotherapy from California Hypnosis Institute, USA. Then coming to Rational-Emotive behavior therapy from Ellis Institute, New York. Then I'm also certified in CBT from Morphic Minds. And I'm also the member of California Hypnosis Institute and Indian Academy of Health Psychology and Physical Education Foundation of India. And I have authored two books here. So first is a test book on rehabilitation psychology, and the next one, the second book, which came in 2020. So it is basically a self-help book talking about forgiveness, and the name is Elephant in the Storeroom. So I think this is the brief introduction about me. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So moving forward, it would be wonderful if you could give us a brief intro about the topic, like what we're going to speak about with the topic and all of that. That would be great.
Yeah. So today we are supposed to discuss about how to deal with panic disorders. So before going into that, how to deal with this, I think what is more important to understand that what a panic disorder is, because until or unless you're not understanding that what is happening inside your body and mind when somebody, when you are having a panic attack, suppose, so you won't be able to deal with it properly. So yeah, we can say that. So I would like to start with that understanding here. So if you want me to go ahead with that, I can talk about that.
Please
So
go ahead. Please go ahead.
yeah. So sure. So panic attacks basically, if I go by something which is basically called the Bible for mental health practitioner DSM-5 Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, which we refer to, it says that panic attacks has is a part of anxiety disorders, basically panic disorders we call. Right? And interestingly, panic attacks are just not a part of panic disorder. Panic attacks can happen with many other mental health problems like PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, or it can happen with another anxiety disorders. But what is the most important thing to understand that what is the basic theme here, what is happening within the person is anxiety. So in panic attack, person is basically facing extreme anxiety, other symptoms which you will be finding that like a person might be facing feeling suffocated, sweating palms, palpitations are there. There is a discomfort in the chest, which may sometimes person may feel like that as if I'm going to have a heart attack here. So they feel as if I'm going to die, which is the most I would say troublesome thing for the people. So it is very, very uncomfortable for them. And they feel as if they are going to die or something, some medical condition is, there with them. So that is the reason. In fact, many times the people who are having actually panic attacks, they end up at the clinic of cardiologist. They say there is some problem, there's some heart issue because I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack here. And when all the tests are, being done, there may be ECG and, echo and all those things. The reports are normal and then end up at the psychiatrist or psychologist, place. So this is how uncomfortable thing it is, which happens which we call panic. Any network issue at your side?
Yes, I think there is. So, as you said, the thing. So, how at the first place does the person experience panic attack? How does it? कि कैसे you understand that you have panic attack, and what's the whole thing with panic attack and people not understanding the difference between panic attack and heart attack?
Yeah. So definitely, like first of all, it happens very unexpectedly. So it can happen anytime to anybody, right? And how to know that it is actually panic attack? Like I said that first of all those symptoms which are happening. So person is suddenly feeling very uneasy, sweating, palpitations, and kind of like as if dealing with some kind of life threat. So there is abdomen discomfort also. Some people think that there is a problem at that area, and there's a chest congestion or pain or suffocation kind of a thing happens with them. So generally, initially people are not able to understand that this is something which is actually related to mental health issue, and they end up somewhere else, like I said, with a medical professional and something like cardiologist or something. When the reports are normal, they come up to psychologist. They are being referred most of the time. If that is not happening in another scenario, like somebody is already being diagnosed with agoraphobia or social anxiety or something, and a panic attack is happening in that situation because trigger is there, so that person is already aware that this is something related to my already existing anxiety issue. So then they are coming to a psychologist. So how they initially recognize that there is something wrong with their mental health, I think that is the discomfort they feel within the body, as well as the thought process which is happening inside them, because it is so uneasy, so they look for help. Right.
Yeah,
You're
so
not audible.
how yeah, I'm sorry. So how do you like I'm not sure how do you understand that you are getting panic disorder or panic attack, however you would put in the term as. How do you understand that?
Okay, so first of all, like I said, yeah. So first of all, when the person is reporting all these symptoms, definitely we have a criteria to check. Like I said, the DSM-5 and ICD-10, these are the kind of Bible we refer to. So we refer to that criteria if the person is actually qualifying that kind of list of symptoms. We have a good enough reason to say that the person is having panic attack. Then we take the case history also. So what is the case history? If the person is having any kind of history of any other disorder already, or the person is going through some kind of trauma, or the person is facing any other kind of life, I would say disturbing event in life, and then we have a kind of a diagnostic interview also, and there are assessment tools too which we can check with. So we can apply those assessment procedures, and we can say that yes, person is being diagnosed properly, diagnosed with panic attacks.
Mhm. Okay. So now, what are the solutions? The whole idea of me creating a podcast about speaking about mental health was because people everywhere, almost around the world, are scared of telling their problems, and as it's a stigmatized thing, not everybody is comfortable talking about it. So I just wanted to find a solution which you can solve by yourself, or your fellow family members can help at a maximum, because not everybody can afford it, or not everybody can is not comfortable speaking about it. So how can we help ourselves, uh, you know like in ghar mein, ya however, how can we do that? I'm not sure how panic attack can be, or panic disorder can be um, helped or treated in home, but yeah, if any solutions as such, or maybe solutions which are yeah.
Right. So, Lakshmi, first of all, we need to understand that when we are talking about disorders, so yeah, we are going to talk about the things which you can, do yourself to deal with that. But we are not here actually. I would like to, kind of very specifically quote here that we are not saying here that that is enough to do. Because if you have some, physical health related issue, you go to the doctor. So I would say if you are having some mental health related issue, so it's very important that you approach somebody who is trained in that and who can help you out with that. But as well as we can talk about the things which you can do yourself to help yourself till the moment maybe you're approaching a mental health professional or taking professional help. So regarding that, again, I would go to the very basic thing to understand that what is exactly happening within your body and mind, if you know that exactly, you will be better able to handle your panic attacks. I would say multifactorial. Why multifactorial? Because anxiety can happen in different ways.
Mhm.
So there is, I would like to try to simplify it, not getting too technical here. So there is something we call emotional brain and logical brains. So there are different neural pathways. Anxiety may happen because of your emotional brain activation or logical brain activation. Let me take a very simple example here. So suppose I'm driving to my workplace and it's winters, and suddenly I'm having an idea that I'm not sure whether I switched off the geyser at home or not. And
Mhm.
suppose nobody is there at home, and I'm going into that kind of catastrophic thinking that what if there is a short circuit. Suppose there is no automatic cut there and there's nobody at home I can contact, and I'm completely getting into that negative thought process, and now I'm feeling really anxious that what will happen, right?
Mm.
So what is happening, my logical brain is saying that there is a logically there is a threat, and I'm feeling really anxious that what will happen. So what is happening, my logical brain is saying that there is a threat, and my emotional brain is saying that there is a logically there is a threat, right? So this anxiety which I'm facing is suppose I'm driving and I'm just lost in my thought process, and suddenly I realize I'm just about to have an accident here,
Mm.
and I just apply brakes, and I'm like, I don't know what was happening, and I take a moment, I'm shivering, and my thoughts are completely haywire. So this is not coming from the, I mean, before I understand what exactly happened, before that I'm feeling anxiety here. So my emotional brain is telling me that something is wrong. There is a kind of a reflex here, right? So anxiety in the same way can come from both the brain parts. Now we should know that how we can handle these two brain areas in a way that we are getting better able to deal with our anxiety. So like I said, logical brain, so very very important when you are having panic attacks, and if you are able to specify the trigger means it's like PTSD. So in maybe 10 years back, 5 years back, 2 years back, suppose you had a very bad automobile accident, and since then
Mm.
whenever you are sitting in any kind of automobile, you are just having a panic attack. So there is a trigger. So now
Mm.
logically what you can do, you can basically try to work with the thought process which is negative here. So whenever symptoms are happening, you can repeat to yourself, you can better able to deal with your symptoms by repeating to yourself that it's okay, it's completely fine, nothing bad is going to happen, I'm able to handle this. So we call it like positive self talk, so which is very very important. Second thing, which is like talking about emotional brain reaction, which is more difficult because logically I think every human being knows that what is the solution, but the thing is we are just not able to do it at times, isn't it?
Mm.
So for that we again need to understand that what is happening during panic attacks or anxiety, there is a kind of a very uneasy feeling within the body because there is sympathetic nervous system activation. Again, some technical thing which is actually responsible for fight or flight response from our side because there is a threat. So to work with that, we need to practice relaxation techniques, which anybody can practice. I think some easy techniques like deep breathing. So deep breathing is very very helpful. And going for you can practice yoga also. You can practice something like JPMR, which is again a kind of a relaxation technique. So, but again, if I'm talking about yoga and relaxation like technique like JPMR, I would say that it's better to do it under supervision first, or to learn the technique. Okay. So again, that is very, very important here. So two ways to work with this. First of all, work with your thoughts. You can do journaling also. You can write down your thoughts, because when you are writing, you are better able to gather your thoughts, and you are better able to see the illogical thinking which is happening. So like you're telling yourself that I was feeling as if I'm going to die. Then you can write the counter argument that I was feeling like that, but it did not happen. So if it did not happen, it means it's not going to happen. So it's not a life threat. So this is one way to deal with it. So right, yeah, this is my understanding on that how you can yourself deal with that. But very, very important, if the root cause is any trauma, so please work on that. Until unless you're working with that, you won't be able to actually deal it in the long run.
Okay, okay, great. Thank you very much, Anu. I think thank you very much for taking your time out. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much for sharing your insights, sharing your thoughts. I hope that it could help people in very small way or a bigger way, however possibly. But thank you very much for taking your time out. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lakshit. And again, I said it's a great platform to create a social awareness. So happy to be here. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure too. Thank you very much.